Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a topic that, honestly, throws a lot of people for a loop in the marketing world. D2C versus lead gen. Now, from the outside looking in, you might think it's all kind of the same. But for a performance marketer, the person whose job it is to actually grow these businesses, they are two completely different universes. And figuring out which universe you belong in, well, that's absolutely critical.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. We are exploring two very different worlds here, direct-to-consumer, or what we all call D2C, and lead generation. And on the surface, I get it, you might be thinking, hey, it's all marketing, right? You run some ads, you get some people to click. But as we're about to see, everything, from the main goal to how you even measure if you're winning, and even the type of person who thrives in each role, it's all worlds apart. All right, so first things first. The mission. Before we can even start talking about ads or funnels or any of that, we have to ask the most basic question that drives every single decision a marketer makes. What's the goal here? Like, what is the actual mission? Because for these two models, the answer is basically now versus later. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. The D2C marketer, they're a sprinter. Their mission is to get that sale right now. Think about buying a cool pair of sneakers you just saw in an Instagram ad. The entire point of that ad, that website, that checkout process is to get you to hit buy now and punch in your credit card details immediately. But the lead gen marketer, they're in a relay race. Their job is to find someone who might be a good fit, say someone looking to install solar panels on their roof, and then smoothly pass that baton, that lead, over to a salesperson who will carry it the rest of the way. It's a much, much longer race. So if you're that D2C marketer, this idea of money now is like your North Star. It's everything. Every single ad you create, every landing page you design, every discount code you push out is all built for one thing, closing that deal. You feel that urgency, right? The language is direct. You're not really trying to start some long, drawn-out conversation. You're just making a super compelling, almost irresistible case for someone to buy something this very minute. But then you flip over to the lead gen world, and you're playing a totally different game. It's all about potential money later. You are not trying to get a signature on a contract with the first click. No way. You're just trying to start a conversation. You're building what we call a pipeline of interest, a list of marketing qualified leads, or MQLs. And an MQL is really just someone who's raised their hand and said, hey, I'm kind of interested in what you're selling, maybe by downloading a guide or signing up for a demo. It's an investment that you really hope pays off down the road. Okay, so that brings us to the scorecard. If the missions are total opposites, a sprint versus a marathon, it makes sense that the way these marketers keep score has to be completely different too. So how do they actually know if they're winning? Let's take a look at what defines a win in each of these worlds. This slide tells such a great story. Just look at the D2C column. It's all about immediate financial math. You've got ROS, return on ad spend. For every dollar I put into Facebook ads, how many dollars in sales did I get back today? You've got CAC, customer acquisition cost. How much did it cost me to get that one person to buy? These are things you can calculate right away. But then look at the lead gen side. It's a whole different story. It starts with cost per lead, CPL. But that's just the opening chapter. The real story is in the metrics that come later. What percentage of those leads actually set up a meeting? How long is the sales cycle time? Is it weeks, months? The D2C scorecard is about today's profit. The lead gen scorecard is about predicting future profit. And this quote, this gets right to the heart of the daily struggle for a lead gen marketer. A lead is not a customer. Think about it. A D2C sale is money in the bank. It's real. But a lead has no guaranteed value the moment it comes in. It's just a flicker of interest. And that interest could be from a Fortune 500 CEO ready to sign a massive deal, or it could be a college kid who just needed to download your report for a school project. And that's why just focusing on a low cost per lead is so dangerous. You could be celebrating getting tons of cheap leads, but they're all junk that will never ever turn into a customer. This slide just puts a giant spotlight on that core difference in value, doesn't it? For the D2C marketer, there is 100% clarity. A conversion is a sale. A 5,000 rupee sale is 5,000 rupees in revenue. It's clean, it's simple. The lead gen marketer, though, is living in a world of ambiguity. A lead has this unknown potential value. It takes a whole process and a whole sales team's effort to figure out what that lead is actually worth, and you might not know for weeks or even months. And this is why this quote is so important. A lead gen marketer who only ever looks at their ad dashboards is basically flying blind. To have any real idea of what's working, they need to be deeply connected to the sales team's data, which is usually sitting in a CRM like Salesforce.
Without that constant feedback loop, without knowing which ads are actually producing leads that turn into paying customers, they're just guessing. They might be optimizing for lots of cheap leads that the sales team absolutely hates. All right, next up, let's talk about the customer's path. We figured out the missions are different, the scorecards are different, so it totally makes sense that the actual journey a customer takes from being a total stranger to a buyer is also going to be completely different. One is a straight shot to the finish line, while the other is a long, winding marathon. And you can really see that difference right here. The D2C journey is a short, transactional sprint. The entire goal is to remove any friction and just get that person to the checkout as fast as humanly possible. The lead gen journey, on the other hand, is a long, relationship-based marathon. This isn't about a quick purchase. It's about building trust and authority over time. It means you're educating the prospect, showing your expertise, and developing a real rapport before you even think about asking for the sale. Think about that D2C sprint. The path is so beautifully simple and direct, right? It's all about impulse. You see a great ad for a product you want, and the entire online experience is engineered to get you from that initial, ooh, I want that feeling, to clicking confirm purchase, with as few distractions as possible. It is truly the path of least resistance. Now compare that to the lead gen marathon. This is so true for things like expensive B2B software or big-ticket services like financial planning. The journey has all these different deliberate stages. A customer might start by just downloading an ebook. Then it's the marketer's job to nurture that person with helpful emails for a few weeks. Only then does it make sense to have a sales conversation. Each step is designed to patiently build confidence for a much bigger decision. All right, let's talk about scaling the growth engine. This is where things get really interesting. Let's say you've got a system that's working, and now it's time to grow. It's time to pour some fuel on the fire. But as you're about to see, when you step on that accelerator, you run into a completely different set of problems and bottlenecks depending on which world you're in. For our D2C marketer, scaling is this frantic juggling act. You're constantly fighting creative fatigue. That amazing video ad that was crushing it for 2 weeks suddenly just dies, and now you need a new one, fast. You're swimming in attribution noise. Was it the Facebook ad, the Google search, or that email blast that actually got the sale? All the platforms want to take credit. All of this is happening while you're trying to manage inventory and protect those razor-thin profit margins. It's a total high-wire act. And if you don't think those margins are a big deal, just look at this number. For a typical D2C brand, a net profit margin of around 6% is pretty common. To make just 6 lakhs in actual profit, that brand has to generate 1 crore in sales. I mean, think about that. You need this massive revenue engine running just to make a meaningful profit. For D2C brands, scaling isn't just a nice to have. It's a matter of survival. Now, for the lead gen marketer, the scaling problems are totally different. The bottleneck usually isn't the ads, it's the people. The marketer can turn on the fire hose and generate a ton of new leads, but if the sales operations pipe is too narrow, you just get a massive clog. Leads start piling up, they go cold, and they get wasted. The real question becomes, can the sales team actually handle this volume? Do they have the bandwidth to follow up with every lead effectively? More often than not, marketing can scale way faster than the sales team can keep. And that brings us to this piece of hard-earned wisdom. Pouring more and more leads into a broken or overwhelmed sales process, it doesn't create growth. It just creates chaos and wasted money. Before you crank up the marketing spend, you absolutely have to make sure the sales engine is tuned up and ready for more fuel. So this brings us to our final section, the marketer's DNA. We've seen they have different missions, different scorecards, different customer journeys, and totally different challenges when they try to scale. So it should come as no surprise that success in each world requires a very different set of skills, a unique mindset. The kind of person who gets a thrill from the D2C world might not be the same person who excels at the long game of lead gen. And this slide just nails the two personas perfectly. On one side, you've got the D2C marketer. This person loves numbers, they love data, and they love rapid-fire creative testing. They get a rush from launching an A/B test in the morning and knowing by dinner which ad won. Then on the other side, you have the lead gen marketer. This person is more of a funnel architect, a systems thinker, who also understands sales. They get their satisfaction from designing a complex, multi-step journey and knowing the psychology that guides a customer from curiosity to commitment. So what's in the D2C marketer's toolkit? Well, it's all about the data.
They live inside spreadsheets, analytics dashboards, and A/B test results. And crucially, they have to master what we call unit economics. That's just a fancy way of asking a simple question. For every single widget we sell, after we subtract the cost of the widget itself, the shipping, and the ads it took to sell it, are we actually making any money? Because at scale, a tiny mistake there can be the difference between a profitable company and one that's going out of business.
Now, the lead gen marketer's skills are a little different. They're part strategist, part systems engineer, and part psychologist. They have to understand the sales process inside and out, know their way around a CRM blindfolded, and be an expert in psychology-driven communication. This means writing emails and creating content that doesn't just try to sell, but that also calms a prospect's fears, answers their unspoken questions, and builds real trust over time. So, as we wrap this up, the question on the screen isn't just a hypothetical. It's a personal one. Which path is for you? Are you the kind of person who gets energized by that immediate feedback, that instant thrill of the D2C sale? Or are you a patient strategist, someone who loves building the systems for a long-term hunt in the lead gen marathon? Knowing the answer isn't just about finding a job. It's about finding the battlefield where your unique skills as a marketer can truly, truly shine.